Guys, so like I said, we'll be going into our new unit, which is exponents, still in the algebra umbrella. So what are exponents? It's pretty simple. If I say 5 squared, this would be example of exponent. The squared would be example of exponent. The 5 being the base. What that is it's just 5 times itself twice, because the exponent tells you how many times the base, which is 5, gets multiplied by itself. So in this case, 5 gets multiplied by itself twice. So that's just going to be 5 times 5, which is 25. So I'm pretty sure all of you already know this by now, but this is just an overview of exponents so that we can get into slightly more complicated concepts like negative exponents and how to deal with radicands with exponents and things like that. So if I say 4 to the third power, that's essentially 4 times 4 times 4. Since the 3 tells us we multiply the base by itself 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. So this is equal to 64. So another example would be the opposite of exponents, which would be square or rooting. Okay, so if I say the root of 25, essentially it's asking what two numbers, when they multiply, equal 25, and that would just be 5. Now if I say what's a cube root of 64, and there's like a 3 right over here outside the root, denoting that we're trying to find that number which, when multiplied 3 times, equals 64. We know the answer is 4, because 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. So the default would actually be square rooting, which means you're trying to find a number when multiplied by itself equals the number underneath the root. And if you have a 4, if you have a 3 or 4 outside the root, it essentially means what number, when multiplied 3 times by itself, equals the number underneath the root? What number, when multiplied 4 times by itself, equals the number in the root? So, for example, 2 to the 5th would actually be 32. So, if I want to find the 5th root of 32, I would write it like this. 32 in the root in that root, and then 5 would be outside, and that's gonna help us know that we're trying to find the 5th root, or the number when multiplied 5 times by itself equals 32. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe. I know this lesson was pretty straightforward, pretty simple. We'll get on to negative exponents the next time. Bye.